Hello everyone, I'm Cole from the Kingdom, and today we're talking about the ending to Mass Effect 3. Let me start by saying a few things. Number one, this will mostly be a commentary and examination of the endings we actually got. I'm going to make another episode about what maybe I would have suggested be done differently. Second, no disrespect to anyone at BioWare. Mass Effect remains my number one favorite game series, and the impact these games have had on my life, I can't even describe it. That said, the games aren't perfect and didn't quite stick the landing. The first time I had completed the game, I had pulled an all-nighter. I hadn't done that in years, and I haven't done that since. I was getting a little confused when Shepard went into the beam, but when the Elusive Man walked in, I literally said out loud, "What is happening?" Then we went up that elevator, and I honestly thought Shepard was hallucinating, which I'm still not convinced he wasn't. I mean, I buy that he was speaking to the Catalyst, I was just thinking his subconscious mind was generating an image for him, and that's not what the Catalyst actually looked like. I mean, that's probably not the case. If anything, the Catalyst is taking on that form because of Shepard's subconscious. I'm just telling you what I was thinking back when I played it for the first time. Now we get to the decisions themselves. Pre-extended cut, the explanations weren't great, but I think I got the gist. So I threw control out the window right away. Why would I do that? What a terrible idea. Especially since they drilled it into your head from the very beginning, there's only one way we win this. Dead Reapers. I could see a Renegade choosing it, but I was total Paragon. So that left Synthesis and Destroy. Well, like I said, the explanations weren't great, and Synthesis was the one I understood the least. Also, they showed the Elusive Man going to Control and Anderson going to Destroy, so I figured Destroy. I felt terrible about what happened to Edie and the Geth, especially since I had actually let the Quarians die without even knowing I could have saved them. Yes, I had an imported save, yes, I had a super high Paragon score, but I didn't destroy the Geth fighters, because why would I? We had the location of the Reaper base. If someone says to you, "I'll give you this cake," or "I'll give you this cake and pizza and ice cream and burgers and fries and whatever else you want and you won't gain any weight," which one are you going to choose? Or hell, would you rather have $100,000 or $1 million? You only get the option to save them both if you see what the Geth Rebellion was actually like. But I already knew. Shepard says later, "After seeing what the Geth Rebellion was really like, I thought I should give them a chance." But you know what? I could have told you that before I played the game. This is bull. Alright, that's enough ranting about that. I could go on, but back to the ending. It ended, and I was at a loss for words. I remember thinking, I stayed up all night for that? But I played through it again, and then I understood it, and I was more content. It still wasn't great, but it wasn't like an insult the way it felt the first time. And I started choosing Synthesis to save everybody. Then Extended Cut came out, which cleared up a lot of issues I had with it. For starters, the explanations for each ending were way better. It reinforced my Synthesis decision because I wanted to save as many people as I could. I did not want to destroy Edie and the Geth, and Control was still stupid. I actually got refusal once by accident because I shot the Star Child, knowing you could do that without consequence before, but since Extended Cut, well, yeah. Anyway, I started thinking a lot about Synthesis, and I don't think I was ever fully okay with it. It was better than the other options, but look, it's a big change. You are changing every living being in the galaxy, their biology, right down to the way they think. Not to mention, where does life go from there? What Synthesis gives us, it removes anything to strive for. Not that we should all strive to be cyborgs, but all being intelligent beyond our current comprehension, being able to communicate with each other in a way like never before. It might be a utopian state, but is that a good thing? What do you do when there's nothing left to achieve? Not to mention, the fact that you are making this decision to change everyone. You alone are making this decision for everyone else. And this isn't like what to order at a restaurant. This is straight up playing God with people's entire lives. In addition to all that, I saw something online that gave me this idea. Isn't this exactly what Saren wanted? The difference being that this is on our terms, and we're not sacrificing our freedom to the Reapers. Not that that was ever an option anyway, but you know what I mean. Is Synthesis what the Reapers and Catalyst want? Are they wrong to want that? This game is so freaking awesome. A friend of mine pointed out the value in refusal. The entire trilogy was about choice, and both the consequences and benefits of your decisions. And we can argue whether they actually mattered all that much as far as game mechanics, but the point is to make you think about how you're affecting the universe, not just the game you're playing. But anyway, my friend pointed out that refusal is actually a rather interesting ending because it's the choice to not make a choice. I like that a lot, but I am not leaving this galaxy to die. Maybe I should take this time to explain that I don't buy into the indoctrination theory. I think the fact that refusal exists is strong evidence against it, but I don't want to get into that right now. Now, finally, I've spent many hours contemplating the various endings, and I've come to realize something. There is a way to just destroy the Reapers, and save the Geth and Edie. And you know what it is? Control. Now, despite what Mass Effect 3 would have you believe, my Paragon Shepard is actually very smart. The very moment you get control, you direct all the Reapers to fly into a sun, disintegrate the organic matter, the synthetic shell, all interior processes, and rid the galaxy of Reapers once and for all. Any remaining tech, I'm sure the civilizations of the galaxy can deal with appropriately. In this ending, the Reapers are effectively dead, and the races of the galaxy can go forward without their interference. If that leads to problems down the line, I trust they'll deal with it. That was what we were fighting for. A future, for better or worse, whatever it may hold. We gave them that chance. If the catalyst ends up being right and extinction is inevitable, then that's what nature decided. We've already broken the cycle. Not the cycle of the Reaper's harvest, the cycle that the catalyst was enforcing.
Our studies of past ages led us to believe that time is cyclical. Many patterns repeat.
Like the Reaper attacks.
And beyond, the same peaks of evolution, the same valleys of dissolution. The same conflicts are expressed in every cycle, but in a different manner. The repetition is too prevalent to be merely chance.
We assumed the Reapers were responsible for the pattern.
Perhaps, though I believe the Reapers are only servants of the pattern. They are not its master.
Nature is its master. History continues to repeat itself each cycle. For example, one race will push down another, like the Solarians did to the Krogan or the Protheans did to other races. One race will create synthetics, one of which will destroy the other. Javik said that happened in his cycle, and it happened again with the Quarians and Geth. One race will hoard power and knowledge, like the Protheans and the Asari. The difference is that we solved it. We found a solution to the cycle without the Reapers, which the Catalyst plainly admits.
You have hope, more than you think. The fact that you are standing here, the first organic ever, proves it. But it also proves my solution won't work anymore.
With the cycle broken, the Reapers don't need to exist. Refusal lets the cycle continue, but it doesn't have to. Now, yes, I have heard the argument that the Reapers eventually rebel against Shepard's control, but I didn't see anything to suggest that in the ending. And that's the point of destroying them right away. You could argue that the Shepard intelligence you create is not the same Shepard you've been playing as. Well, maybe not, but my Paragon Shepard had an ironclad moral code, and will that would rival Steve Rogers and the entire Green Lantern Corps. And this line...
Through my birth, his thoughts are freed. They guide me now. Give me reason, direction.
That's enough for me to believe that whatever changed inside him, he would still make the same decision. The Reapers have no purpose if not to enforce the cycle. The races of the galaxy will live without any further interference. That is my canon ending. And if they ever decide to elaborate on what exactly happened, this is the ending I think they should go with. Shepard outsmarts the system. So I think that's about it for now. Again, another video is on the way about how I would have suggested doing things differently, but it's easy to say that kind of stuff in hindsight. So, thank you all so much for watching. I'll see you later.